Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Michelin King. We are live in the office, bit later on the video front than we normally are today. We just had a busy day with waxes, so why not start off with that? So waxes that have just come back into stock that have just been made. We've got prototype, we've got honey, Showcar Wax Winter as well. So we've got honey, prototype, and Showcar Wax Winter. Differences between them. So this version of honey, so obviously those of you that watch the videos and whatnot will be up to speed, but for those of you that aren't, we may as well fill you in. So this version of honey, what I did with this is I've increased the wax overall, just because we're still in winter and probably will be for a couple of months. I thought we'd increase the protection. Now the great thing about honey, especially being a beeswax wax, the interesting thing that beeswax has always been marketed as being a soft wax and blah blah blah, but inherently it's actually very hydrophobic, so it's not altogether true the way it's been marketed. It's marketed slightly a negative way. The same way that I guess I probably go on about carnauba wax being quite a cheap ingredient. Certainly when you go into the realms of Lily and Jordan and whatnot, it's the cheapest ingredient that we use, which is why within the luxury waxes I don't sell them based on T1 carnauba, simply because it would be kind of like selling a V12 Ferrari on the fact that it's wearing own brand tyres, that type of thing. So versus maybe Bridgestone, Goodyear, Pirelli, that type of stuff. So in essence, the carnauba doesn't really matter a great deal in terms of the finish. It's there just really to harden the wax. What we're doing at that level is we're using other ingredients to bring the looks and the finish and the experience, I guess, as well. So on that note, I've got a couple of surprises for you. So I've got some X-Demo waxes. So the first up, Montgomery. These are on the website right now. So this is Montgomery X-Demo. I have a Lily X-Demo as well. These have all got between 2 and 4 swipes out of them, so not much. And then I've got the Jordan as well. Really easy to find on the website. They're on the same section of the listing. So if you just type in Lily, click on the wax, and then you'll see 175 X-Demo, and it will say like 2 to 4 swipes out of it, and that's the one you want. There's obviously, as I said, you've got Jordan, Lily, and Montgomery to choose from. So the next thing we can do is we can have a wee look at some orders, because a couple other things that have changed on the website as well. The first one being the free gift. So we've got all the way from California, and I hope, I think you're in a different area to where the fires are, but still the same thing, I hope you're staying safe, and I hope any friends and family that you've got are not affected at all by the fires. So first up, we've got Quick Detailer. The free gift is a 200ml Christmas edition wax, and you can actually choose the one. So there are 3 different Christmas edition waxes that you can choose from. You've also went for a 50ml of Cardinal, which is just on the shelf, and a 50ml of Ivory. These 2 waxes are absolutely fantastic, really good on metallic paint as well, very wet finish, or very wet look finish waxes. Within that kit, so it's called the Silverstone kit, within that kit you actually can choose 2 liquids as well. So you've went for Titan and Snow. So we've just poured some Titan today, so these are still yet to get labelled, so you're seeing the behind the scenes. Normally they are machine labelled, but I'm good enough at hand labelling. You can see these have all been done. The other thing that you also get is a free unreleased 50ml of wax as well. So if you spend over £50, you get the unreleased wax. And I see you've got a comment here, to say that you've cracked the Hiroko wax. So I'll pop in a lid. What I'll probably do is just send you an email, because we've got 2 jars that we use. The frosted one's got a slightly different lid to the solid or clear coloured jar, so I'll just message you to find out which one it is. Obviously, anything like that, guys, it's all free. So if you do break a lid, just let me know. We've got plenty of lids here. The only thing that we ask is that you cover postage, but most people, if it happens, they'll have an order in anyway. That's how we find out about it. If you're in the UK, it's a couple of pounds to send it out. If you're overseas, I think it's about 8 to 10. So it's probably worth your while, even just buying a shampoo or something like that. This has got a kind of carbon fibre effect to the label, which runs at an angle. Well, seeing it's towards the end of the day. Obviously not enough donuts or coffee. Right, so that's your order ready to go. I'll just, as I said, I'll clarify what type of lid it is, and we'll pop that in tomorrow morning. Next up, we've got Richard. You've been very patient, Richard. Thank you very much for that. You'd put his order in just before, just roughly round about when we were closed. So that's Pure's now in, ready to go. So that will get sent out today. And you are in Northern Ireland, so it'll take an additional day. We've got quite a lot of customers in Northern Ireland. Very easy to post to. It's the same postage rate for, let's call it mainland, as it is for yourselves. So if you're in Northern Ireland and you fancy trying our stuff, my great-grandmother, a lot of Scottish people have ties to Northern Ireland, so my great-grandmother was from Northern Ireland. I've managed to visit as well, so very nice. Funny thing about it is it's normally warmer than where I stay. So I stay just in the outskirts of Glasgow, and the west coast of Scotland is notorious. I know we've got a lot of overseas customers, some of which have visited Scotland. So those of you will know that it's quite wet. So the east coast is typically colder but drier, and the west coast is typically wetter and slightly warmer. Less windy is probably the thing. It's probably less windy. It's not so much. You just don't get that wind chill. Richard, what I'll do is I'll just actually pack this up because I need some space on the table. So what I did just before we went live is I've also updated the website, because we have our sample liquids back in stock. So I've just put this live on the website. So if you spend, I think it's £20, you get a free sample liquid as well. It's a great time to buy just now, because spend over £20, you get a sample liquid. Spend over £50, you get an unreleased 50ml wax as well, so it comes in a metal tin. Spend over £99, you get a 200ml Christmas wax, which was worth more than £100 when we brought it out. If you spend over £199, I think it is, you then get another free 200ml wax as well. So you spend over £200, you end up with 450ml of wax for free. So there's madness to it, but never mind. Right, so Richard, this will get picked up tomorrow. Should be with you in a couple of days. Again, thanks very much for your patience. I know that you've been waiting a couple of days for that. What else have we got? Stuart, I'm just about to go and pour some Guard, so that's back in. We've got a very limited stock of Guard. There's probably about 8 bottles of it, well 6 actually, because Stuart's bought 2. So there'll be 6 remaining after that. He's also went for the Ultimate Winter Wax Protection Kit. It's a mouthful. So what that comes with is Bavaria and Pure. So Bavaria lasts about 6 months. It's super high gloss. in my opinion, it's a much better suited product to an enthusiast than maybe your ceramic based stuff, simply because with a ceramic coating, or most enthusiasts are detarring and decontaminating their paint at least every season. So this type of product lends itself much more to that than, say, your ceramics. A lot of our customers that get ceramics just to try it, as we all do, the vast majority of them, the report that I get back from them, either if they phone in or email, is that they get bored. They've got bored with the finish. They feel it's difficult to top. You can top it with a wax, but obviously ceramic manufacturers, and we'll include ourselves in this because we do have a 9H multi-surface coating, it can clog the surface. But again, if you like waxes, you probably won't like ceramics, simply for the fact that they're very one-dimensional. Great at, let's word this very carefully, ceramics are absolutely fantastic at reducing damage to the paint in the future, but they are not the be-all and end-all to restoring your paint finish. Think of it like a barrier cream like Vaseline. So Vaseline doesn't actually rehydrate the skin. All it does, it's a barrier, exactly what it sounds like. So think of a ceramic coating as a barrier between the elements in your paint. If your paint is starting to dry out and oxidize and things like that, there will be, I'm sure, in time. But as it stands at the moment, I'm not aware of a ceramic that can rejuvenate that. However, if you use a high quality luxury wax that's got natural oils in it, then it will start to combat the effects. It's the exact same thing. You're sitting watching the TV at night and you see, let's say, a Nivea advert comes on the TV, and it talks about rejuvenating your skin, bringing back the shine, the luster. It's the exact same principle that we're applying to paint, because paint on a microscopic level is porous. It will dry out, it will lose its shine, and it will oxidize. These are all things that detract from the final finish, so to speak. So that's where your luxury waxes come in, where they will reduce that, but also refresh. A prime example of this is my car that I've got just now. Japanese paint, notorious for oxidization. It's a Lexus IS 250, so absolutely notorious. It's silver, so it really shouldn't be oxidizing the way it is, but it is. The bonnet has a clear line of oxidization on there. I used a wax today called Honey, and it did what sealants and ceramics can. It rejuvenated the paint. Now, the wax isn't the permanent solution, and possibly at this stage, 18 years down the line, there probably isn't a permanent fix to this. Once the paint has what you really need to know is, and it's nearly impossible to find this out, because car manufacturers don't think there are people like you and me out there. What you would need to know is at what depth of the clear coat has the oxidization. How do we word this properly? What depth of clear coat would I'm trying to think of a simple way of wording this for myself, not for you. So the best way to probably word this is, how much oxidization can the clear coat take? How many microns can the paint oxidize by, where you can bring it back? So where you can machine polish it and it will never happen again. And that's the $1 million question. That's what we don't know. We don't know, is it halfway through the clear coat? Is it a 50-50 point? Is it 75-25? We're not really too sure. The general consensus is, once your paint has oxidized to the point that it's become creamy or hazy, then really the only way around it is to re-lacquer or re-clear coat that area. Now, one of the interesting things that I've found is, you can slow the appearance of, let's call it the appearance, because that's probably quite accurate. You can mask, like that's a better way. So you can mask the appearance of oxidization as long as it's not cracked or hazed. You can mask it by using a high quality wax and also pure or tighten or cloak. So there's a couple of things that you can do, and that's what I'm going to be doing for this car, because it's not worth repainting this car. It's not got any future classical value. I very much doubt that. It's of an age where there are quite a few interesting projects that we'll be able to video and show you things like how to polish. Lots of you already know this, but how to polish your headlights, a couple of different ways that you can do that. We've also got a few really horrifically touched in areas of paint that I'm going to show you how to sand that back, and possibly even how to repaint that as well, using what we call rattle cans, so just those sort of paint cans that have the wee bead inside the marble. So there's a couple of interesting things that we're going to do. A couple of rust spots on the car as well. I'm going to show you how to treat them. Especially surface rust is relatively easy to treat. All you need, the areas that are the worst round about the headlights, anywhere where it gathers water. So what we're going to do there is use iron fallout first of all, because that'll kill a lot of it. Then we're going to probably emery board, some kind of heavy duty sandpaper, just to break through the rust and get to the sheet metal. And once we're at the sheet metal, we're then going to build up the layers of both what we call a primer, your colour coat and your clear coat. I'm going to also show you a couple of different techniques that you can use to fill in scratches and stone chips. So one of the things that I used to do for scratches, as long as it's not went through the colour coat, is you can actually use clear coat, because it's very difficult to colour match silver, especially metallic silver. It's very difficult to colour match that perfectly. The better way to do it is with a touch-up pen that's clear and not actually add any colour, because bearing in mind this is 18 years old, it's seen 18 years of sun, the sea, salt water, etc. Actually came over from Northern Ireland, and it was parked at the coast, so it's had 18 years of quite extreme weather. And then the final piece to this puzzle is I'll show you how to repair stone chips that have actually went through to the metal, where we'll be building up the layers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the colour coat and the clear coat. I'm not going to apply them separately, I'm actually going to mix them together. Again, you'll see the reason why, because it's so small, it will dilute the colour coat ever so slightly, and it's slightly easier to feather that in, because it's a clear coat in some cases is a slightly thinner paint than a colour coat. And obviously with the colour coat harbouring the metallic flake as well, it's just a slightly different consistency. So I'll show you just a couple of methods. So it should be quite, once the weather picks up and we've got some dry air, just now it's just a wee bit damp, a wee bit cold to do any sort of paint work, or any paint work that's going to last any period of time. So Stephen, let's get on to your order. So you've went for Titan, Pure, we've got an extra bottle there, sorry, Pure, Spa Plus, not Spa Plus, Spa version 2. Spa Plus was a ceramic shampoo that we used to offer. I think I've got one on the shelf. Spa V2, Citrus Power, this is great stuff, Citrus Power. It's essentially, just get a label, sorry guys. It's essentially a citrus based cleaner. It's full strength, so you can dilute it 10:1. You could go a wee bit higher if you want, if your car's not terribly saturated with salt and stuff like that. Now, this is a multi-use product, so you can use it on as a pre-wash for your bodywork in general, exterior. Tyres, arches and alloys, you can either use it 5 to 1 or 10 to 1, just sort of up to you in the level of grime. Degreasing, I tend to use this as a degreaser at 5 to 1. I don't use this as an alloy wheel cleaner simply because I've just had my alloys refurbished, and the company that did them, a local company in Clydebank, very good finish on them, so thanks very much for that. He had specifically said just use pH neutral. So the word's certainly getting about. I mean, you go back 10 or 15 years and most companies wouldn't have known the difference between pH and alkaline and pH neutral and stuff like that. And if you've now got wheel refurbishment companies that have that knowledge, it's good. You know, it's the word is definitely spreading. So that's one of each, yes, and then a bottle of Wax Plus. Currently out of spray heads, guys, but they should be in before close of play today. Just performing some gymnastics to get into the... This is the deepest shelf that we have. So basically our best sellers are on a deeper shelf than the rest of the stuff, just so that we have enough stock. Most of the stuff as well, guys, so we're probably quite unusual in a retail sense that I don't keep a massive amount of stock on the shelves, simply because all of this stuff has a use by date, and it has essentially a best before, so I don't really like to keep stuff on the shelves for too long, and a lot of you know that about the waxes. So for instance, honey, the honey that I made today will probably last us a couple of weeks. So more than likely the waxes that you're buying, I'm just looking on the shelves just now, so most of the waxes that are on the shelf right now were made early December. So late November, early December. We made a couple of waxes in the middle of December, but there's nothing really that's going back any further than that. So it's mostly about a month to a month and a half old. What that means, especially with natural ingredient waxes, is you're getting a better quality product. So the newer it is, the better it will be, the fresher it will be. It's very much like your food. The fresher the product is, the better it will be. So if you've got, I'm sure we've all got a polish in the shed that's 5-10 years old, it's never as good as the brand. Well, it's never as good as Titan. Just kidding. It'll never be as good as your newer stuff, simply because you've got the oils in there. Lots of car chemicals are petrochemical based, and the minute that lid opens, the petrochemical starts to evaporate because it's a solvent that loves to do that. Very much like if you've ever spilt petrol in the forecourt at the garage or whatever, it flashes off really quickly. So that brings me on to another helpful point, hopefully. When you have finished using your product, very much like if you've ever emulsioned or painted your house or whatever, always make sure that you put the lid, tighten the lid securely back on, and what to do is always wipe off the excess as well, just so that when you open the lid the next time, you've not got any dry product going onto your pad. It's not, I've never ever heard in any of the YouTube videos, I've never heard anyone talk about that, about wiping off the excess, and also when you're dispensing the product again, make sure the nozzle's clear. You hear about it on, you know, when guys are painting their cars and stuff like that, but it's very important, because when a polish or a sealant dries, it becomes hard. So obviously if that then goes onto your applicator pad, you're then rubbing this kind of abrasive stuff onto the paint. So that's Stephen's order finish. Stuart, I'll get to yours, Stuart. I just need to do the guard for that. What else have we got? Alex, we've got a few here. Alex has went for Wax Plus and Rinse in 1 litre, so thank you very much. Jake, thank you. Your honey is now made. It will be ready to go tomorrow. Declan, your order will be ready to go tomorrow as well. We'll just put the finishing touches to it. A couple of luxury waxes in here. And then I think we covered this in the last video, so that's the prototype ready to go as well. So that'll be ready to go tomorrow. So if you get an order in just now, oh, thank you very much for that, the order. If you get an order in just now, there's every chance it will go out tomorrow as well. Who else? So, Mr. Spencer, your order was waiting on Diamond Seal, which is now in, ready to go. William Rutherford, all the way from New Zealand. Your order, Cloak and Pure, ready to go as well. And David, you've been very keen to get your bottle of Diamond Seal, so thank you very much for that. I've got your order ready to go, and it'll go tomorrow and should be with you. You've chosen standard delivery, so take maybe 2 or 3 days to get there. That's what we'd say, guys, when you check out. Standard delivery is about 2 to 3 days. Express delivery is about 1 to 2 days. So just bear that in mind when you're ordering the product. Just buy the right shipping for the time that you need it for. If you don't need express shipping, don't feel you need to buy it. Anything over £50 automatically gets express shipping anyway. And if you go onto the website, you'll see all the different free gifts that I've just updated there just now. So thank you very much again for your time, and thanks for all the orders that are coming in and still coming in. So keeps us nice and busy. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.